We are a crotchety old man.
And a woman.
We are a crotchety old man.
And a woman.
I am crotchety, she is crotchety. We are a crotchety old man.
And a wonderful woman.
Hi, everyone. We are going, I don't want to say old school because that's so lame. We are celebrating our 1 year anniversary on the air, so we wanted to actually go back to the original song. Abigail, do you remember how this all began?
To be honest with you, no, I don't.
So, for some of our newer listeners, this was actually not supposed to be a crotchety old man and a woman. It was supposed to be three crotchety old men, but our friends bailed on us the day that, on me, excuse me, kind of on the day that we were going to actually start doing this. So Abigail jumped in and she decided to take over, and eventually she just took over the whole show. So, and
Well, eventually it was like 10 episodes. So, I
yeah,
mean,
it
it
was
took you a
eventually.
long time
Yeah,
to admit that, crotchety old men was not appropriate.
appropriate. And it was great. It was great. So 1 year, like I thought we would be done it within like a couple weeks, but Abigail actually now likes this. I love it. It's one of my favorite times of the week.
Yes, it's a fun hobby.
It is. It is. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to make some nickels, especially if
Well,
our
I mean, you told me we were going to make enough money for pizza.
yes, we need more listeners. We do have our small little group in England, but they need to spread the word. And everyone, if you could, just have others listen to the show, force them by gunpoint if necessary, because we got to get some more listeners. So, moving on. Abigail, we have two national foods today. Are you ready for them?
Okay.
We have National Pecan Sandies and National Detroit Style Pizza Day.
Okay. First of all, did you say pecan candies?
Pecan Sandies.
Sandies. What the hell is a
Sandy.
sandy?
I thought it was like a cookie. Have never had one. I was going to ask you if you've had one, but it sounds like you haven't had one.
No, and I never would.
So we're going to have to do our research and find out what a
All right,
pecan
and then
sandy
you
is.
said, did you say Detroit style pizza?
Yes, Detroit style pizza, which
Really?
I actually had to look it up myself before the day started. It is a square deep dish pizza, which makes it different than a Sicilian pizza, which I every once in a while would have up in New Jersey, which was just a square pizza, but it wasn't deep dish.
You
So
know,
it's
yeah,
almost
I'm
confusing.
sorry. When I think of a square pizza, I think of Little Caesars, which is like
Ew.
the worst pizza ever.
Yeah, there was I think it was called Lito's Pizza up in Bethesda. My brother used to take us to. That was square pizza, I think.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like we're gonna have any Sandies. We've had a run of bad luck when it comes to like national food days. We missed National Donut Day. We're
Well,
missing
I wish we could hit chocolate mousse day.
well, there was chocolate chip cookie day we missed. Like it every time we're doing them on the wrong days, I think. Maybe we should have moved the show around the days of our National Food Day. We're
Or we
smart.
just lie about one.
That is true. It's a National Chocolate Mousse Day every day. But I will not lie about this day in history. So I have I think five for you. Some are fun. There's a lot of like a lot of like big events, but that most people don't know. So I kind of took some of the ones that I found the most interesting, if that makes sense. Like I didn't
Hmm.
like there was a bunch of battles that might have changed the map of Europe, things along those lines. But these were the most interesting I found. In 1872, Frederick Douglass was nominated for vice president of the U.S. Now, first of all, I actually knew he ran, but I didn't know for what party or for who. Have you ever heard of the woman Victoria Woodhull? Woodhull?
No.
She actually won the Equal Rights Party's nomination. And she
Really?
chose, yes, and she chose Frederick Douglass as her vice president. And what was amazing is Victoria was not allowed to vote for herself, as women didn't have the right to vote yet. And that was one of the platforms she ran on, excuse me.
Well, Arden, I mean, did you think it was appropriate for a woman to try to run? I mean,
Uh,
I'm putting it out there.
if I was around in 1872, I probably would have said no.
Mm-hmm.
Times have
That's what
really
I
changed.
thought.
Times have really changed. But that was what happened back then. Um, then we're going to fast forward a little while to 1943, and I found this absolutely fascinating. I never heard this before. Britain and Portugal. Now it's 1943. We're at the height of World War II. Britain invoked the world's oldest treaty. Take a guess how long this treaty was around for
Oh, I don't
with
know.
Portugal.
30 years? I have no idea.
600 years. They have had a treaty, a working relationship that Britain was able to use the military facilities of the Azores
Hmm.
to combat the Germans. Portugal was a neutral country during World War II, but this treaty they had to invoke, and Portugal let them use their facilities.
You
So
know, that's amazing. You said the Azores because my brother, who's from Costa Rica and is an avid listener to our podcast, he actually went to the Azores. And when he told me, I was like, what the hell is that?
it's an amazing like there's so many places that I just don't know where they are. So we have to. I think they're off Africa. I think they're off the coast of West Africa. I think.
Yeah,
I
I
could
don't.
be totally wrong. I will look that up and get back to us next week.
All
Um,
right.
in 1982, had the coldest measurement on Earth. Your questions are: where was it, and how cold was it?
Well, I'm gonna go with the South Pole
That is correct,
because
or
that's supposed to be
Antarctica.
pretty cold.
Pretty damn cold.
Um, oh, I don't know. -80? I mean, at the lab, we store all our cultures at -80, which is pretty
Well,
freaking cold.
-80 would have been sweltering compared to this.
Really?
-117 degrees.
Wow.
Now, I know in the past I did say that I've been in Death Valley one time, and that was like the hottest place at the time, and it was 123. And I did say that on my bucket list I do want to go to Antarctica, but I don't know if I ever want to go when it's 117 below zero.
Yeah, I think the lowest I've ever been exposed to is -6. So
Yeah,
-117 essentially would kill you immediately.
I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. So here's another funny thing that happened in 1990. Um, okay, were you ever a fan, or did you ever see the movies Alien Nation or the TV show Alien Nation?
I think you know the answer. No.
I know Abigail, not a big sci-fi fan, but over 300 people protested at the Statue of Liberty for some reason to have the Sci-Fi Channel bring back Alien Nation. Like, why there? But also, okay, 300 people protesting. It didn't work. The movie was pretty good. James Caan, I think, was in it, and it was a pretty good movie. And I actually liked the series. It wasn't great, but I liked it
Okay, so why were they protesting at
because I
the
loved it
Statue of
so
Liberty?
much.
I
I
know,
don't know.
but why the Statue of Liberty?
I have no idea. Oh, maybe because they were, I mean, the concept of the show is that they were aliens and they actually were rejected, so they wanted freedom. And they actually landed on Earth actually to establish to be basically humans. Like that was like the kind of the whole concept. They wanted freedom and peace. They were all slaves.
Yeah, but that would make more sense that they were illegal aliens, the protests
Ah,
at
you
the
made a
Statue of
funny.
Liberty.
They were illegal aliens. They weren't migrants.
Ah,
Illegal migrants. Um,
okay.
yeah, I wouldn't. Never mind. I'm not going to go into the political jokes right now. In 2016, this was the big one for all of our English fans, and they probably either love it or hate it. Britain votes for Brexit to leave the European Union. I don't know enough about this as far as if it's working, not working. If our friends from England reach out to us, let us know your thoughts on it. That would be great. Now, before we go into Abigail with sports, I actually found four other events in today that were all sports related, and all of them were baseball. I'm sorry, it was only three of them. So, Abigail, here's a trivia question, and I apologize if I misphrase this. How is it possible for a pitcher to not throw a no hitter, but never let a hit up and face and get 27 outs? So he pitches 9 innings, gets all 27 outs, does not allow a run, and doesn't get a no hitter.
Um, I mean, off of my top of my head, I have no idea how that could happen.
I didn't know this either, but this happened in 19. This actually it happened in 1917. Babe Ruth was the starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. Walked the first batter, then got into an argument with the umpire. Actually punched the umpire. He was ejected. Ernie Shore comes in and gets the next 27 outs, and the Red Sox won the game. And he does not get credit for a no hitter. It's a combined no hitter. How pathetic
Okay,
is that? Um,
so I thought a no hitter meant you didn't even throw a walk. So
no,
that's not the case?
that's a perfect game almost. Perfect game is no walks, no hit by pitches, no errors, and no hits. You could throw a
Oh.
no hitter. In fact, there was a gentleman, Andy Hawkins, for the Yankees, who lost a game. He lost 4-0 because of errors. He didn't allow a single hit. So,
Hmm.
and they wouldn't give him credit for a no hitter because he
Right,
actually,
and but who determines these
they have official judges in the who are paid by Major League Baseball who actually watch the game and determine if things are a hit or an error.
oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty fascinating. Now, this one probably could not happen if this was 10 years ago. In 1963, New York Mets, Jimmy Purcell hits his career 100th homer and circles the bases backwards. With TV and everything the way it is back, 10 years ago, his next pitch, he's getting hit right in the head. But
Well, I mean, what should have happened was that he just fell backwards and landed on his ass.
that would have been funny, or slide butt first or something. Sort of. I don't know how.
Something like
I
that.
don't know how
I
you
mean,
slide backwards.
that's
Um,
totally obnoxious.
and the last one in 1971, Rick Wise, the pitcher for the Phillies, probably had one of the greatest individual performances ever. Where not only did he throw a no hitter versus the Reds, he hit 2 home runs and accounted for all of the RBIs in the game. Pretty amazing.
Wow.
2 home runs and throws a no hitter. See, Shohei Ohtani do that. That's what I
Okay.
gotta say.
Well, all I can say is you need to remember that fact and the fact that it was 1971 because it might help you remember my birthday.
Ooh, that's so rude because it was April 1917. Anyway, yeah, Angelo, Abigail, I'm getting confused, people. Abigail actually was a little one. You were alive at least. So what do you got today in sports?
Okay, well, apparently the highly rated Florida Panthers have let a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup blow away, and now it's tied up. Game 7 is tomorrow night, and because they're a Canadian team, I don't even care about them. So what's the team name? I don't know, Arden.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton, huh? So who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Florida Panthers, not
Mm.
because they're Canadian. I just actually like the team, and it's fun that a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. If Edmonton can pull off the miracle, this would be the second time ever it's happened in Stanley Cup playoffs history, and the Stanley Cup's been around over 100 years.
Really?
Yeah, so this would be an amazing thing to happen.
And it would be a total embarrassment for the Florida Panthers.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if you were a fan, how furious would you be?
Right now, I'm panicking. I'm absolutely panicking. It makes my
Hmm.
Rangers look good, considering they're
Okay. Well,
Rangers.
the next topic, of course, is Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. So today was a rematch with the Chicago Sky, who has
What's that girl's
uh
name? Reese or something?
yes, Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. Okay.
And so it was head to head last week. Caitlin lit it all up and tore up the court compared to Reese, but today, I gotta hand it to Reese. She did really well, and ultimately, the Indiana Fever choked and blew a huge lead and lost 88-87.
Wow.
And again, they're not the same position, so it's hard to compare. But Angel Reese got 16 rebounds, which is just a lot, and 25 points. Caitlin only got 17 points, 6 rebounds, but she did have 13 assists. So, but they lost the game, so I cannot give any kudos to Caitlin Clark this week.
Wow. Look at that. You're actually being down the middle almost.
Yeah, I can be down the middle.
Nice.
Um, so all right, well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about your new favorite sport, apparently.
Okay, so I'm obsessed with this Cricket World Cup. Okay, once again, I'm asking the people in England to please explain to me how runs and wickets, what is a wicket? I really want to know. Today, England defeated the United States and they won by 10 wickets. I don't know what that means. So they won, but what I was really, it's so embarrassing. Have you ever heard of Sling or Willow TV?
I've heard of sling.
That's was the only way to watch these games,
Hmm.
which goes into my next thing. Here's a useless piece of information for you. You know how the we've all been taught that the Super Bowl is the highest rated TV show every year,
Of course.
and roughly like what 160 million people watch the Super Bowl, right?
That sounds about right.
Well, cricket in India Pakistan World Cup game, 368 million people watched that game.
Wow.
So the United States population is roughly 390 million. And so 360 million people watch that game. So just crazy, isn't it?
All right, but when you say 390 million people, do you mean Americans, citizens, or
Yes, that's
every?
total. That's including children.
Yeah, but does it include those that cross the border illegally? That's
No,
my
those no, not yet. They'll
not yet.
count in the next census.
Okay.
Yes, and by the way, that is true. They count them in the census. So that's why they're going to California. Oh, sorry, not going to get political. Not yet, anyway. And I had nothing to do with sports, but I have one more useless piece of information that I've been like, this has been stuck in my head all day because I was watching a TV show. Um, Abigail, do you know what a Jolly Roger is? That sounds perverted.
Um,
I'm not trying to be
I mean,
funny.
isn't that candy?
That's a Jolly Rancher. But okay.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Then no, I don't.
so are you familiar with what a pirate flag is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's called the Jolly Roger. It has two swords and a skull.
Oh, okay, that's like the Jolly Roger Park at Ocean City. They
Right.
have that flag.
Did you know that that is an actual pirate's flag of one actual famous pirate captain who's not famous? Like, he's not Blackbeard. He's not like anything. It's this guy. His name was Captain Jack Reacher. Rackham. I'm sorry, Jack Rackham. That was his personal flag. So his flag is actually more famous than he is. So, and I was watching a Pirates baseball game, and the guy hits a home run. They say, "Well, raise the Jolly Roger." So, like all these other pirates had their own flags, but no one knows them. But for some reason, the Rackham flag is the most famous. Anyway, that
Well,
was
I wonder why they didn't show him any respect.
probably because people just associated it as all pirates had that flag, but they didn't. A lot of them had some really silly looking ones, like a little skeleton with a little spear. Like they're odd. And but this one sells, and he wanted it to like people to see it and know who it was from the distance. So that's pretty cool, I guess. But he only was a pirate for about a year and a half before he was caught and hanged. Useless. More. Oh, one last piece of useless information. He was also famous because he had two women in his crew,
Wow.
and one you may have heard the name Anne Bonny, the pirate
No,
Anne
but
Bonny.
how do you feel about two women being on a pirate's crew?
Obviously, they knew what they were doing, but I got no problem with it. They obviously were probably ruthless. you know, well, I mean, there was the women, what was it, Molly Pitcher and the Revolutionary War. Anyway, going off topic. It's time for everyone's absolute favorite part of the show, Ask Abigail. Now, this question to Abigail actually did not come from me. It came from her own sister, who wanted to know her thoughts on women being forced into signing, not women, young girls at 18 signing up for selective service.
Well, Arden, I gave my opinion, which I'm going to tell you in a moment, and I was a little shocked because I think my sister disagreed.
Ooh, I like
But
this.
my view is this. Um, just sticking with the military alone for now. Um, Women wanted to be able to enlist and join and be recruited into the military. Then they insisted on being put into positions of combat. So why not? I mean, again, if they are actually insisting on equality in the military, then all women should have to do the selective service, just like all men. But I guarantee if that were to occur, the feminists, the View, all of them would just be outraged. But my point is this: the shows like The View, they want everybody to be equal rights. And I'm not saying we can't have equal rights, but they want LGBTQ, drag queens, you name it. They want to be even animals. They think animals should have equal rights as humans.
And join
Um,
selective. So your two dogs would have to be part of selective service.
apparently, and so I just think that why not? I mean, we all know a draft's never going to happen. But why shouldn't? I mean, look at Israel. Mandatory 2 years of
Mhm.
military service for all males and all females. And I just think most of Americans, if you just stick with the men, if they were told they had to give up 2 years of their life, you know, it would be, there would be a protest for real instead of a protest at the Statue of Liberty over a show.
That is true. I,
So
me- I re-
my stance, I'll end it at this, is that yes, they should have to sign up for selective service.
Now, I actually saw like this actually confused me because while we were talking about this earlier in the show, I actually looked up if you are saying you're transgender. Who's the swimmer that the who wasn't allowed to go into the Olympics that it broke all the women's records?
Oh,
The
I don't remember his name, but
dude, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he's
Yeah,
a
so
freak.
yeah, he actually had to register for selective service because so even if you're a transgender man becoming a woman, you still have to sign up. But
Hmm.
it doesn't go the other way if you're a woman transgendering to a man, um, which is kind of weird. And I forgot there was I don't know many of those like that are famous except the one that was in that movie Juno. Elliot Page, that's it. Elliot Page. Like uh do I say he, they? I'm always bad at my pronouns. They're not having to sign up for selective services. So,
Hmm.
so that way, we're, I don't know.
Well, I mean, so you're saying that, as long as they make the change before they're 18,
No,
then they
no
don't
matter
have
what.
to sign up. Okay.
They haven't changed that law, so it's whatever you were born as of right now.
Hmm.
Which I don't know. I'm totally confused by the whole thing. So that was I think a good question for you.
I think so, but again, I was a little shocked because I think my sister disagreed with me.
Did she say hell no?
No, but speaking of my sister,
Uh-oh.
I've previously had told the tale, true tale, of the carrot cake debacle.
Yes. Your neighbors
And me and
have
my
lost all their teeth.
sister, yeah, I mean, over the years, we did some stupid stuff and we got in trouble. So tonight I thought I'd bring up my um best memory, but not, it was not a good situation at the time.
Okay.
But we had a room with bunk beds, and I was on the top, and she was on the bottom, and she didn't want to go me to go near her stuff. So she, using tape, marked out the pathway for me to get out of the room and where I could go.
Like
So
a TV show
yeah,
where they
so
always
she's
do
in the
that.
bathroom across the hall, essentially spraying her hair down with the Aquanet, and it was the pink one. I can't
The
remember. There
pink
was a blue one
Aquanet.
and a pink one,
I have no idea.
but one of them was extra hold versus standard hold.
Got
But
it.
anyway, I got really mad because I was like, you know, this is ridiculous. I have to stay in my lane in my own room. So the my door was open and our door was open, and she was looking out of the bathroom at me, and I just said, you know what? I'm ripping this poster down, and it was for Rick Springfield, her heartthrob at the time. The
Jesse's
one that's
girl.
saying, "Yeah, Jesse's girl."
Jesse's
He was
girl.
literally on one hit wonder. But anyway, she got so angry, she wound up just like a baseball pitcher with that can of Alconet and threw it. But I could tell she was doing that, so I shut the door of my bedroom and bam, put a hole in the wall like somebody punched it.
Oh my God.
Well,
How
I
hard did she?
see, but and she threw it hard. But
Damn, through a door.
and sisters, as soon as that happened, we came together to try to figure out how to make sure my dad didn't go nutso when he saw it. So we thought it was a good idea to put a piece of paper over it and
Mm,
write a note to him telling him that, this was an accident. Nina fell when she was trying to leave the bathroom
her
and
air
I can't,
blocked her
right.
view.
And we wrote this out and then we hid in his bedroom. I remember crouching down under his bed and he comes home and he's coming down the hallway and he sees this sign and he's like, what the hell? And we just were like, yeah, Dad. We came out and we were just like, yeah, it was a total accident. But anyway, the point is, when you're siblings and you get in a big fight and something like that happens, you do tend to come together and try to fix the problem together. So,
Nice.
fond memory makes me laugh when I think about it because Aquanet was all the rage, and she had
It
the
was the
pink one.
80s. Everyone loved the
Was the
80s.
80s.
It
So
was the 80s.
how about you, Arden? You got anything?
I this is a story that a few people know, and I think it's changing with time because I remember this story as though it was yesterday, and my brother has a different version of it somehow, of course. But we it was wow, it was in 1994 or maybe 93. So I'm 20, either 23 or 24, and he's 5 years older than me. And it was around his birthday. And he was miserable because no one wanted to do anything for his birthday because it was 4th of July weekend. His birthday's on the 3rd. And so we are actually, he's upset. Now, in the meantime, I actually came down with bronchitis for the first time. So if you've ever had bronchitis, it is pure hell. You can't breathe, you're coughing all the time. And he was so depressed. He's like, yeah, you got to come out with me. You got to come out with me. By the way, I'm sleeping on his couch at the time too. With like the dog is next to me. We fight over the couch because I just graduated from college. So he drags me to a bar. We got shit faced. And then we thought it was a really good idea for my brother to do flaming sambuca shots.
Sambuca.
Flaming sambuca. By the way, sambuca tastes like licorice. If anyone, I can't stand licorice, but my brother wants to do it. So he goes and gets a lot of them. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Like, if it was like 10 shots or 11 shots each, I would not be surprised. And he asks the bartender, "Hey, can you light these on fire?" Okay, so she's, takes her lighter and just lights them. He starts walking, and he's already had one too many. He starts shaking, and the Sambuca's hitting him on the arms, and all of a sudden his arms have that little blue flame. He's yelling, "I'm on fire! I'm on fire! I'm on fire!" He's just screaming in the bar. The bartender, she looks at him, just takes one of those nasty ass rags that bartenders
Oh,
have, throws it, hits him in the neck. He
ew.
can't do anything about it. He puts the vodka shots down, and he's the sambuca shots down, and he's patting himself off. He's like, "I was on fire. I was on fire." So we finished the shots. We're hammered. We probably were singing, dancing. Who knows what we were doing? Well, the those ladies who walk around with they walk into bars and they're selling like the light roses, the like, roses that have. He grabs one and goes, "It's my birthday. I'm taking this," and he just grabs it, and we walk out. So he literally robbed the lady of one. Like, she did nothing. And now this is where it gets weird. So that we were in D.C. and his house was in College Park, and we woke up the next morning in his car. Now, what makes it weird is I was in the driver's seat, he was in the passenger seat. It was his car. It was a Ford Probe. It was a stick shift, and I don't know how to drive stick back then. I have
Really?
no idea if I somehow drove a stick shift home drunk, or if somehow we got home and switched seats. And like, we just woke up and looked at each other like, the day continues. I'm hungover. I'm absolutely a mess because I have bronchitis. I'm a mess. Oh, my brother is sitting there. I'm in the bathroom. Now, I'm going to be a little disgusting. I apologize. The bathroom he had upstairs, where the bedroom area is, it didn't have a door for the actual bathroom. It had like just a shower curtain. I'm puking in the shower curtain and pooping at the same time. My
That's
brother,
disgusting.
my brother walks in, and all of the animals are near me. We had a goldfish named Mr. Furley in the window on the windowsill. The cat named Bucky was next to the goldfish in the windowsill, and his dog Scooter was sitting there like right in front of me. And he looks at me and goes, "Are you okay?" And I went, "I'm going at both ends." Now, he then comes back with his camera and takes a picture of it.
Mm.
He has had that picture on his desk in his office at work for the past 20 plus years, 30 years.
Well, Arden, all I know is I hope I never see that picture.
Oh no, it's so funny because like I'm trying to compose myself. I put my glasses on because back then I had to wear glasses all the time, and I put like a book between my legs to cover my private area. The dog's looking at him, the cat's looking at him, like it was. But in the final part of the story, I literally go to the doctor 2 days later. I felt amazing. He said I threw up so much that everything came out of me. He said I'm the stupidest, and he used some profanity. Um, that lived. He said you probably almost died, but it actually worked. That all of the bile, ew, gross, came up. That actually got rid of it. So I don't recommend ever doing it, but it somehow cured me of bronchitis.
Okay, but let's go back to the car.
The
Okay.
car, yes,
So it makes no sense
no sense
as to
whatsoever.
why you guys would have even gotten out of the car if you were passed out and switched sides. And we all know if you can't drive a stick shift, you're
Picture
not going to go far.
how the hell did we get home? It's a blur,
Right. And,
absolute blur.
you
Unless
should
the
you
other
should feel a
possibility,
little bad that you guys drove home so drunk.
well, the other possibility is that we actually never drove because College Park, there was a metro station there. Maybe we somehow took the metro back and we couldn't make it into the house and just crawled into the car and fell asleep. I don't remember. It's after he stole the lighted rose, everything is a blur until me sitting on the toilet.
Well, all I know is your mom is not going to be happy when she hears this story.
Oh, it was awful. I think she's seen the picture. I mean, I'm gonna
Are you
have it.
kidding me?
Oh yeah, it's a funny ass picture. It's one of the funniest. I want a copy of it. It's that freaking funny. I'm sitting there with the animals all around me. Oh man, it's God, that was a funny now, but anyway, there's only a little time left in the show, so now that I gotta sing the opening again, but before I do, I would just like to say thank you to all of our listeners for making it a great year. Please spread the word. You can reach out to us at we are crotchetyoldmen at gmail.com. We are crotchetyoldmen at gmail.com. Best way to reach us is still through Twitter at crotchety old men. That's at crotchety old men on Twitter/X. Be one of the, I think we have 2,000 followers somehow on Twitter, but they don't really reach out to us that much. So please reach out. And yeah, and if you have any silly stories of listening to Rick Springfield, that's a classic right off the bat.
Well, did you post our mascots tonight?
I have not because they were impatient. But I will. I will say where the fragging
Everyone's got to
monkey.
check out my mascots,
Yes,
our mascots.
our mascots. So with that, I gotta hold on. Me, 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 me. We are a crotchety old man.
And a woman
We are a crotchety old man.
who took almost a year to get credit for being a woman.
She's still freaking crotchety. I am crotchety. Crotchety old man.
And a woman. Good night, everyone.